The Sherman Griffin. The Sherman Griffin, yeah. Welcome to this evening's Sherman Griffin promotional event with your host, Executive Director Heinzel Kunzman.
All right, we're live now. Hello, welcome to today's Sherman Griffin promotional event. My name is Heinzel Kunzman. I'm the executive director for the Sherman Griffin project. The Sherman Griffin project is a proposed project to take an abandoned building located at 3825 West Center Street, and we would renovate the first floor to become a cafe that would be run by the Belton family. On the second floor, we'd have a music school, and there would also be a performance venue for mainly live jazz, but we would also have comedy and poetry. The music school would be a 501c3 organization, so it's not-for-profit, although the property would be LLC. It's a $1 million renovation project, so our capital campaign includes $400,000 in grants from the city that we'll be applying for, $400,000 in grants from foundations, and $100,000 in shares for investors, and another $100,000 from crowdfunding. So the crowdfunding goal is where your help could be very valuable. If you'd like to learn more about the project, please visit our website at theshermangriffin.org. And there's a PayPal button right on the first page. If you think the project is something you'd like to contribute to, feel free to donate through PayPal, or you can contact me directly. My phone number is area code 631-353-9586. And if you make a donation of more than $250, you can mail a check directly to me. I'll give you my home address. And then I can respond to you with a letter of receipt, which has an EIN number for the music school, and you can write your donation off on your next tax returns. First off, I'd like to congratulate Q El Amin on his Community Within the Corridor project, $60 million project just down the road from where the Sherman Griffin is proposed to be on 32nd and Center. It'll be Milwaukee's largest affordable housing complex, a 5-year project, pretty impressive, bold undertaking. So congratulations to Q El Amin, and also Bid 39 and Alderman Stamper for all the development that's going on over there. And also happy June 19th to everybody. Now it's an official holiday, right? Today we have a very special presentation for June 19th. We have two performances today. Our first one is going to be started off with Mark Davis, Milwaukee's most renowned jazz pianist and educator. He's the founder of the Milwaukee Jazz Institute, and also the pianist for We6. We hope that the Sherman Griffin would be able to cooperate with some programming with the Milwaukee Jazz Institute in a number of ways in the future. So this will be the introduction to Mark Davis, the figurehead for the Milwaukee Jazz Institute. And we also hope to do similar type of cooperations with other organizations like Piano Arts with Sue Medford. So there's a lot of programming opportunities for the Sherman Griffin that we will get into the details later on once we've got the renovations underway. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Mark Davis. But real quick, first at 5:30, Aaron Crook, the young singer, will be accompanied by me. So there's more music. We have 2 hours of music today. Very special programs for you today. This is Mark Davis.
All right.
If you want to add more.
Yeah, sure. I'll just say hello.
Sure.
How close should I get?
Pretty close. Yeah, should be. I think we're
Are we moving for the music?
Yeah, we can. Okay. Yeah, you can move it. Just
All right. Heinzel, thanks so much. It's great to be here at your home, at your backyard venue. This is very cool. We've got a live audience. I've gotten to meet some new people. Great to be here. They're sitting in the shade. That's why they're over this way. So sometimes I'll be looking over here. And then I know we've got some people tuning in virtually. So I want to say hello to everyone who might be tuning in. It's great to have you here. I'm going to be playing some piano for you. Heinzel has, I don't know if it was single-handedly moved this piano from someone's home, or did you have some help?
No, our board president helped, Demetrius Foster.
Oh, right.
And Jim Gajewski.
Demetrius Foster, the board president of Sherman Griffin, helped.
Yeah.
They moved this piano just a couple days ago from a home, and so that I could play it here in Heinzel's backyard. So I'm going to be playing some jazz piano for you and playing mostly some jazz standards. I'm going to start out with an old tune, favorite tune of many jazz musicians, It Could Happen to You. Oh, yeah. now with a ballad entitled Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Not sure how close I need to get to this for everyone to hear me, but I'll lean in on the microphone here for our composition by Thelonious Monk, the great pianist and composer. And this is a tune he wrote for Panonica. It's Panonica de Koenigswarter, who was a patron of many of the jazz musicians like Charlie Parker and Miles Davis and Thelonious Monk. And she helped out a lot of musicians, and Monk wrote this tune as a tribute to her, Panonica. Again, that was Canonica by Thelonious Monk. I mentioned I was going to play a few tunes by some of the great jazz artists. This next tune is written by Hank Mobley, a great saxophonist, tenor saxophonist. He recorded many, many albums for the Blue Note record label and other labels. Worked with Art Blakey and many others, and worked with Miles Davis. This is a tune of his. It's from a record called Faraway Lands, which is on Blue Note, and the tune is entitled Bossa for Baby. Thanks so much.
You want to take a break now, or do one more and then take a break?
Do one more.
One more? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'll do one more tune before we take maybe a little pause for
Q&A.
yeah, for a little bit of discussion. And continue, as I mentioned, I'm playing some tunes written by some great jazz artists. And again, that last tune was written by Hank Mobley, saxophonist. It was entitled For Baby. I'm going to continue with a tune that was written by a pianist. It was written by George Shearing. Some of you might know who George Shearing was, an English-born jazz pianist. He wrote Lullaby of Birdland, among other well-known tunes. This one's quite a bit less well-known. It was the only recording I know of this tune was recording that Bud Powell did. Bud Powell, the great bebop pianist. And the tune is entitled She. So I'm going to perform for you at this time. She. One of the pianists that has played this a lot over the years is the great Barry Harris. So you can find some wonderful recordings of this tune by him, along with the recording by Bud Powell. As far as I know, there are no recordings of this tune by George Shearing himself, but supposedly he's the composer. She.
there. We'll maybe move the mic to the center here. And, so besides the VA and Election Village, there are also people from Sherman Park, the team too.
Nice.
So a lot of them might not. I'm pretty sure don't know you. It's kind of surprising. in our circles, it'd be unheard of not to know Mark Davis. But yeah.
Pick us up in
So I mean, before I knew of your reputation, I was already a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, your playing is very, very solid, and it's all kind of within a box. So it's all within what you're capable of it, and you're not trying to show off. You're just trying to make really, really good music. And besides being a sought-after performer, you're also an educator as well. And like half of what I know in terms of jazz piano comes from learning from not just watching you, but then you have 2 books also. There. You want to talk about your books?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, books, like you said, I mean, I've been teaching a long time, a few decades, I guess, a couple of decades or more. And I had the opportunity to, I started writing a jazz piano method, because a lot of my students would say, hey, what's a good book that I could look at while I'm taking lessons with you, but I would like a book so when I'm at home I can refer to things and read a little more about it. And I could never quite come up with the book that I thought was like a great recommendation, at least for how I was teaching and some of the things that I'm into. So I decided, well, I'll write my own book. So I started writing it, and I didn't have a publisher at that point. I just started working on it, and then the opportunity came up through Hal Leonard, which is a music publishing company, as you know, but not everyone knows. It's based in Milwaukee. It's the world's largest music publisher, and it happens to be over on Blue Mountain Road. And,
it'd be great if you could sponsor the Sherman Griffin.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a good thing. That would be awesome. So they I approached them and said, hey, I want to write a jazz piano method, because I've been doing some recording for them. So I had new folks over there, and initially they said, "Oh no, they had some other book ideas, that they were interested in me working on." And I said, "Well, I really want to do this jazz piano method." And then they said, "Well, no, they weren't really interested." And then 6 months later, I got a call from them saying, "Hey, you want to write that jazz piano method?" I'm not sure exactly why, the thought changed on me. It was a good time for them to do it. So I wrote 2 books for Hal Leonard, and the Jazz Piano Method, Book 1, and the Jazz Piano. And what's been cool about it for me is they're selling all over the world. So I do get messages from people from anywhere virtually. They say, hey, I picked up your book, I like it, or I have a question about it, or whatever it might be. And to me, that's pretty cool.
Virtual piano lessons.
Some of them are taking piano lessons with me, and some of them are just working on the book. But I mean, we all know as a musician, you want to reach people, and there's just a lot of different ways to do it. Sometimes it's playing in a jazz club for 4 people, hopefully 40 or 400. But a lot of times it's just a few people, and we love that. But being able to reach people, that overseas, anywhere, it's to me it's fun, and because my goal is to hopefully inspire people to want to play the piano and want to get into styles of music like jazz and
yeah, and you've been teaching. I mean, you've influenced countless musicians already, not just piano players, but all the horn players, and I mean, so that segues right into Milwaukee Jazz Institute,
right?
So you have a handful of keys program you do on Tuesday nights. Is that right?
That's evolving a little bit of like when I'm going to be doing it, but the Milwaukee Jazz Institute is, as you know, it's our fairly new nonprofit. We're a 501c3, a nonprofit. We formed the organization in late 2019. Got our nonprofit status early 2020. But the people who are involved with the organization, have been teaching and performing for a long time. So the organization is new, but I mean, we've all been working.
The people that are involved, you've been together for.
We've been together a long time, and some of the people who are involved are, as you mentioned before, members of our jazz group, We Six, So they're involved with it.
their needs?
Yeah, absolutely. So We6 is a group that we've had for, I don't know, a couple, I'm not sure the exact number of years we've had this group for, but for maybe approximately 20 years. And we're all performers, but we're all people who are trying to spread the word about music and educate people and then help people out in their musical endeavors. And so we've got Paul Silverglide on guitar, Dave Bayless on drums, Jeff Hammond on bass, Eric Jacobson on trumpet, and the saxophone chair has evolved over the years. Originally, when we formed the group, it was Berkeley Fudge, who was one of the all-time Milwaukee Jazz greats.
Yeah.
He was in the group for a long time, and then we had Eric Shore and Jonathan Bernstein, and now we have a great saxophonist from Chicago named Scott Burns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to perform. Because with Scott, I should say, because we did a couple of
Recordings, right?
we did some recording that was with Eric Shore. Those came out recently. We did some performing like in February of 2020, just in time for the things to kind of
Enjoy something at home.
yeah, and we did some virtual things, some festivals and whatnot. But looking forward to doing more. But the Milwaukee Jazz Institute is an organization that I co-founded, and the purpose of the organization is a couple of things. It's our mission is to promote both performance and education in the area of jazz music, and it's for all ages. So we're teaching youth and adults. We have ensembles that we teach. We use it as our home base, or our base of operation is the Jazz Gallery on Center Street in the River West, and so that's where we're actually doing our actual in-person teaching. And so we've got some great young players coming up and adults who love playing. And we're starting a big band, which we had prior to the pandemic, but we also have small jazz groups. But we did really launch into the online programming as soon as the pandemic hit. So we did about 100 workshops over this last year, and they were on a whole range of topics. Some of the people I mentioned were involved teaching these, and others like Leonard Simpson and Marcia Daniil, a great vocalist, Ethan Bender, bassist. Just trying to think of some of the
Bender's
people.
done two gigs.
Right, yeah. So he's been involved with on the faculty of MJI, and so I'm doing a monthly piano workshop, jazz piano workshop called Handful of Keys, which you were referring to. And usually I've been doing it on the second Tuesday of the month, although I'm going to be doing it this coming Monday, actually. So if anybody's interested, they can go to our website. It's MilwaukeeJazzInstitute.org and find out more about it. But I always have a different topic. It's been really fun. And again, it's been fun because we're getting people tuning in from all over the place. Milwaukee, certainly, but also different cities, different countries. And so it's fun to reach people in all kinds of places.
Different backgrounds and walks of life.
Yeah,
right. That's great. We wouldn't, the Sherman Griffin wouldn't want to take you away from the Jazz Gallery at all. We have to be careful not to step on people's feet or not. But it'd be great to, if MGI could provide these type of opportunities also for Sherman Griffin, and like Sunday afternoon master classes.
Sure. Yeah, we look forward to partnering. Because one of the things that I feel strongly about, but MGI feels strongly about, is really supporting our community. We want to partner with other organizations. For example, in the case of the Jazz Gallery, they've got a wonderful space that a nice piano, and we're able to provide them some revenue by occupying their space. We help them; they help us. But that we're prior to the pandemic, we were looking at other partnerships with other clubs and venues where we might make use of some of their space during the daytime.
Okay.
And so that's something that we're definitely interested in doing.
As you mentioned before, you're involved with all ages. Sherman Griffin, we're mainly trying to access youth, but I already know for certain that there are adults, retired people that they're looking for something to do while they're home.
Oh yeah.
So that's great that you have all different types of people, all different types of backgrounds getting involved.
We've got students that we've been working with, from prior years and teaching at different places, and they're still here active, and now they're college age, or some of them are quite older than that. But some of the ones that are involved now are coming back to help us, mentoring young players. So
Leonard Simpson, would you give an example?
Definitely, yeah, Leonard Simpson, who's doing wonderful stuff.
Saxophone player.
Yeah, and there's some young guys and women that are here, and they haven't quite they're just getting their careers going. Some of them are just in college still, and so we've been able to keep them active in playing. And we have a jazz camp going on next week.
Oh, great!
And so we've got several of these college age musicians that are going to come back and help mentor some of these young students we're working with. Okay. So it's great to see. It's kind of all part of the big picture.
Yeah, summer camps. That's another good way to keep young people engaged and involved. And because over the summer, if they get out like a routine, it's easy to forget some of the basic concepts that you had acquired during the school year. And, it's probably like a time when you kind of discover how deeply interested you are in music too.
Yeah, this is good. This particular camp is just in the afternoons, but 4 hours every day for a week. And we're meeting. The camp is going to take place at the Hilton Hotel downtown the Milwaukee City Center, which is a historic hotel. It's a great place to do it, with a long history of jazz. Buddy Montgomery used to play there, and so we're going to be kind of introducing students to his music and learning a little bit about history and even like our local history of how this music has been passed on.
Yeah, this is actually a big part of the Sherman Griffin project too. We hope to be part of preserving history of jazz in Milwaukee as well. So
that's great.
It's great to drop names like Buddy Montgomery. But we should also so your personal your influences are Bud Powell mentioned, but then also Barry Harris.
Yeah, I love Barry Harris, Bud Powell. Local ties. David Hazeltine was a great pianist who was here in Milwaukee, and now has been in New York for many years, and he was a mentor of mine. So sometimes it's that one-on-one, or direct contact. I mean, we're all influenced by musicians we hear on recordings, but a lot of times it's musicians that you get to know that show you stuff.
They can see what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Encourage you. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm excited about your new venture.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm excited to have you be a part of it in the future. So once we get launched,
I think it's something that we need in Milwaukee, and certainly that that area of Milwaukee, Sherman Park area, is going to benefit greatly from your project. Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing your talents with us too.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'll let you get back to playing.
All right, sounds good. All right. Can I move this over a little bit, Hansel?
Yeah.
I've noticed the I don't know if they can hear in the virtual world, but our live audience can hear all the nice birds tweeting.
You can hear that recording too.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of nice.
It's funny, as they start to play, are they starting to tweet louder?
Maybe I'm
attracting the birds.
You're giving off a Disney vibe right now.
But no, it's great to be here, and I'm going to continue with another jazz standard. This is a lot of jazz come from American song, like you described.
Every time
the source. This is a tune written by Richard Rodgers called "My Heart Stood Still." Many jazz artists have recorded it. In terms of pianists, Bud Powell has recorded it, and Barry Harris, we were just talking about. My Heart Stood Still. thanks to everybody for being here, and thanks to Heinzel for hosting this event and for having me play today. And good luck on this project, Sherman Griffin. It's a great project, and I'll look forward to hearing more about how it all develops. I'm going to do one more quick tune, and again, thanks for anyone who's tuning in virtually. I think I'm facing the right way. Thanks for checking things out and supporting the cause. I'm going to close out with a short tune written by the pianist I was talking about earlier, Barry Harris, and this is his tune called Around the Corner.
Then we know we arrived. So we have another live performance right now. As I said today, we have a double header. So please don't go away. Give us about 5 minutes to set up the next link. And if let's see, if you can get these links obviously from the website. That should be the main source. But whoever set up the link for Mark Davis here would have access to the Aaron Crook's link as well. So we'll switch things over to that link and see you in about 5 minutes.